Hi, my name is Ashley B. Red. I do horror movie content every single day, and today I'm joined by the amazing actor and producer of the 2025 horror movie Sugarcane. It's Michael Mann. Michael, how are you today?
I'm doing well, although I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and it is, I think, 96 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
So it's
How's that
melty,
feeling?
a little melty.
I was
Yeah.
just thinking it was warm here, but I think that's a lot hotter than London. So we're going to go into Sugarcane in a little bit. But first of all, do you
All
want to
right.
just tell everyone a little bit about you? So what made you become an actor? Has that always been your first career path?
I mean, I guess I've always acted. As a little kid, I learned how to act. Yeah, I mean, I dressed up for my mom. I would perform. I'd wear like, my older brothers and sisters' clothes and get out stuffed animals and make
Mm-hmm.
little plays in the living room. I think my first proper play, I was maybe in middle school. I may have been a freshman in high school. And I had this audition for a play. I was living in Memphis, Tennessee, and it was a children's community theater production of a play that I still remember called I Sincerely Doubt This Old House is Very Haunted. I played Billy Joe XX.
So you remember it really
And
well then.
I do. It's so this strange the things that you remember and the things you don't. But yeah, I was about ghosts, and I was a ghost.
You
Um,
were a ghost.
yes, recently deceased. I crashed my car. Yeah,
Aw.
yeah. I got paid nothing. I had to sing, which was terrifying. But I
It
was
was
hooked.
scary.
Singing is scary. Yeah,
You think? I'm a
the play
singer.
itself was yeah.
Yeah.
I knew this about you. It's way too vulnerable,
Mm,
singing in public anyway.
okay.
But that production really hooked me on acting. I did every school play that I could, and I went off to college thinking I was going to be that was it. I was going to be an actor. I was a theater major my freshman year. I got the lead in Hamlet,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
which was probably more terrifying than singing. And in the midst of all that, between being an 18-year-old kid, being overwhelmed by all of these upperclassmen, never having been like on my own before, I chose my friends and my girlfriend over theater. I changed my major to English, which I thought would be easier. And I didn't act for many, many years after that.
Okay.
So this thing that I just knew was going to be my life, it did not turn out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I became an English teacher. That most of my adult life, from I guess the age of 24 on, I was a teacher.
So what made you go back to acting after that then?
Uh, you know, a couple of things. One, teaching English especially is a form of acting. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're breaking down literature, you're breaking down characters and their relationships, you're performing for students, for this crowd of people. It's oddly like a sales job,
Yeah.
trying to sell things to people who don't want to buy it,
Mm.
and to try to come up with different ways to create characters who they do want to show any interest in. That, and then my students and my colleagues always saying to me, why aren't you acting? You should be acting. You teach theater, you teach English. Why aren't you doing it, yourself? And so I started doing that. I started doing community theater again, and I can remember I was in a play called Staged Kiss. This was, I don't know, a long time ago. And one of the other actors had to leave early because she had a commercial audition. And I just was like, "Hey, how do you do that? How'd you get that audition?" She said, "Oh, my agent." I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, okay." So, how do you get an agent? What is that like? And she gave me the contact information that anybody I could have Googled. Uh,
Yeah.
and I set up a meeting, and I got my first agent.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, now I'm going to be a professional actor.
Mm-hmm.
Finally. Yep. And my first job was probably 6 months after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a background actor in a cancer drug commercial.
Oh, really?
And if you squint and really know what you're looking for, you can almost see me.
See you in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see that you've been in like some music videos as well.
I did. So
Yeah.
that's my first SAG job
Mhm.
that really made me feel like I was a professional actor was in a country music video for the Nashville country band Little Big Town. And I
Yes.
was starring in it opposite Michelle Monaghan,
Hmm.
and who, had been she's been in movies with Tom Cruise, and she was Woody Harrelson's wife in True Detective, and she's been in everything.
Big
She's
deal.
all over the place. She's in uh, White Lotus this season, and
Yeah.
I was like, I am there now. I thought it was the cancer drug commercial before, but now big time. I think
Hmm.
I got paid $500.
Still, it's great. Great
Yeah.
cast.
And I did, but I didn't join the union yet. It just qualified me for it. I I did several music videos from that point. I did a couple of Christian music videos, which was strange for me.
Hmm.
I did several rap videos,
Interesting.
and yeah, and I met a lot of people that I'm still friends with today
Hmm.
through those jobs. I don't know that, I don't necessarily consider them acting jobs per se. Some of them were, but they really gave me an experience of being on a fast paced set, of how it works, of who does what jobs, and getting paid for playing make believe was great. So yeah, the music videos were played a big part in my early acting career. I don't think I've done one in a few years, but they were fun.
So, Sugarcane, let's talk a little bit about
Let's talk about
Sugarcane.
it.
Let's talk about it. I love this movie. Can I please start off by saying that I haven't shut up about it, your performance, since I've watched it. So it's honestly so great to actually sit here and talk to you. I get sent quite a lot of films and I'll throw a couple on and I'll be like, okay, this one's good, this one. And obviously, I try really hard to support independent film because I know that there's a lot of stuff out there, but independent film is very hard to get out there. So if anyone
It's
comes to
very
me,
hard to make.
I'm sure. I'm sure it is. We've got Pat Baker and Gabriel Howard are producers, is that correct?
Pat and DJ are our head producers. Gabe and Pat wrote the movie.
So it's from Postmortemfilms.
Yes.
So have you known them for a while? How did it all start? How did you get associated?
I had done a short film with another North Carolina writer director, Grant Lafferty. It was a film called A Man Departed. It's an amazing film. You can see it on Amuleto. And Grant uh, hired me, and Pat Baker at some point saw the movie. And from his words, he said, "Well, we've got to hire this guy for something." And so he reached out to me directly. He sent me a sample of the script, which is a much different. It's a much different version of Arthur in those first few pages that I got, maybe 30 pages, whatever it was. Completely different character. The original Arthur was much more of a textbook villain. He was, from the way that I viewed him, he was always putting on a show. That any kind of weakness or um, affect that he put on was fake, and that when he was real, he was just this very dark, monstrous human who got off on the idea of sugarcane itself. And whether it's because of Pat and I talking over the months, or even just because he asked me to put myself on tape so they could see what my Arthur looked like.
Mhm.
um that character changed. And because I didn't I never wanted to play a villain. I don't see um Arthur. I mean, yes, he does terrible things, and
Mhm.
I would never like
Hmm.
defend that, but From my point of view, Sugarcane is about a neurodivergent, traumatized man with an abusive past
Yeah.
who, has to return home to take care of his mother with dementia.
Yeah.
And for me, in order to really find the truth in that character, I had to always go back to that.
Hmm.
Because he has no financial means to take care of Marjorie, he's forced to turn to this site, Sugarcane,
Hmm.
which, if anyone who has not seen the film, it's like OnlyFans for torture.
Like the dark web, so to speak.
Yes,
Scary.
for sure, dark. I mean,
Yeah.
for in a way that it's it can't be, it seemingly can't be shut down. It can't be
Yeah.
traced. It is the ultimate evil of what the dark web represents to us.
Hmm. And that's how the movie, so without ruining it too much, basically, like you said, if people haven't seen it, it basically
Mhm.
starts off with a young girl who actually was part of it before, and she wants to help this girl that has now been kidnapped by Arthur.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's so interesting to me what you've said about him, because there was this tiny part of me that was like, do I feel sorry for this man? Am I supposed to? Because he is so troubled and traumatized himself that I was like, it's really hard to judge him for what he's doing. And as the film goes on, I think it's interesting to see how many people would actually start to feel quite sorry for him and how many people would empathize with him, because he's a very interesting character.
Yeah. I mean, and I've heard that from other people,
Mm.
that they did find themselves both empathizing with Arthur, but then also rooting for Mari, rooting for
Yeah,
Phoebe,
of
rooting
course.
for Damien, because how could you not? I'm glad that he came across to you, um, is even a little empathetic, or just as
Hmm.
human, and not just a two-dimensional
No.
villain, this sort of force of nature that abducts and puts on the mask.
Yeah. Like I was terrified of him, but I was also like, I want to know more about him. And I want to know why he's been like this. And as it was going on, it was starting to make more sense. Because at the beginning, it was more just like, oh, it's some crazy serial killer man. And now it's like, wait, no, he has a story. Like he's not good. Like he has a family and there's things going on. And that's why it's really interesting for me to talk to you, because my other question was going to be, how hard was it for you to kind of switch that off between being him and being you? Because that must have been quite difficult.
Well, I think I hinted at this earlier, but my goal for Arthur was always to be reminding myself that not only does he love his mother deeply,
Mm.
but that he he loves Phoebe. I know that's
Okay.
crazy to say, but I think
Interesting.
that this is a man with attachment issues and
Hmm.
poor boundaries. So I don't think that there's any point that Arthur actually wants to hurt Phoebe.
Okay.
He wants to be gentle and kind and
Hmm.
perform with her for the audience.
Hmm.
Now, of course, you see what that performance looks like. And it certainly doesn't involve any physical pain on his part, but for
Mm.
her, it does. There's definitely a darkness in a man who can inflict pain without malice,
Mm.
with just, he just feels like it has to, come out for this audience on Sugarcane. And I
Mm.
think that we all have some version of that person inside of us.
Mm.
Most of us control it. I mean, if you've ever had a dark thought while you're driving, or in a crowd, or anywhere where you're just
Just the anger
but
comes out.
yeah, and and we can control it.
Mm.
As for switching it on and off, in between takes, because I don't know if people know this about movies, but sometimes it can take an entire day to film one scene, which
Mm.
means that you're in it and then you're out of it, and then you're in it and then you're out of it, and then you're in it and then it's lunch, and then you do this and then you do that, and so you're doing it from this angle, and you have to remember these things. And did I put that in my mouth when I said that word, or how was the light here, or am I hitting it? So much to think about.
Mm.
And I'm not good at turning it off and on. I find it so difficult to access what it takes to be Arthur and then to just go to being Michael eating a sandwich.
Hmm.
Um, And I think that I'm just not trained or practiced enough as a performer to go from terror to laughter. Even though slaughter and laughter are pretty much the same word, you just add an S.
That's true.
But it really frustrates me. And so there are times on set when, people are joking in between takes. Pat likes to keep a light set. And I just had to put my headphones on and walk away.
Right. So
So
you
that,
method acted a little bit, would you say?
I mean, see, I don't know that I did that. I wouldn't call it that. I just tried to steer away from switching up my emotions too much. It's not like I was, standing in a corner staring at the other actors going, "Oh, I can't wait till that camera starts."
Yeah. In a really malicious, scary way.
Yes, I wasn't upstairs with Marjorie trying to feed her a sandwich and going, "Come on, Ma. Come on, eat it, Ma." She's like,
So you
"Michael,
just
could you please stop? Could you please?"
so you blocked yourself away from the cast basically just to
Yeah.
get into that
Yeah,
mindset.
I made a playlist for Arthur
Can
that
I
just
ask what
kept.
was on it?
Yep,
I'm fascinated.
mostly mid-century French pop music.
Oh wow, okay. That's
Yeah, a lot of
interesting.
Serge Gainsbourg.
Okay, okay, that's interesting. You reminded me of Norman Bates a little bit, and that's the biggest compliment ever because I'm petrified of that film. That's this to me, that's the scariest film of all time. Psycho is terrifying to me.
When people say that, I always have to like think about my interpretation of Norman Bates because Norman stuffs his mother and dresses up like her and
Mm,
talks with her voice and keeps her in a basement. So
scary.
I, he doesn't. I don't know that Arthur goes to that level.
No.
But I think that yes, I can see like Norman is soft spoken.
Yeah.
He is definitely a mama's boy,
Mhm.
and but he seems to have a lot more skills than Arthur. I mean, he runs a hotel, which is
He
not an
does.
easy task.
I think for me, it was the whole like sort of hollowness of, like you said, like the voice. It's interesting you say that he didn't want to hurt her because I did kind of feel like in a way he was trying to protect her at the same time. And he had this sort of like just monotone voice that he was just like, everything's fine. And she was just like terrified. And I was like, that's what scared me the most. But yeah, great performance. So well done on that. And I really want to know about the mask. We've talked about the bunny mask.
All
Whose
right.
idea was this? How did this come about?
So there are things that I know I remember for sure, and then there's part of the timeline where I'm not sure what happened first.
Okay.
This is how I remember it. So
Okay.
June of 2023, Pat sends me the first 30 pages about a guy. I'm not going to tell you his name because
No, of course.
it's being used in another screenplay.
Okay.
But his name was not. It wasn't Artie,
Okay.
who lives with his grandmother.
Mhm.
And most of the beats were basically the same as the general beats in Sugarcane. But when we get to that first basement scene, the action simply reads, it's something like, he picks up his mask. There's no description of the mask. There's nothing. It's just his mask. And he
Mhm.
puts it on, and that's, this is where I'm not sure what happened first. So as we worked to develop Arthur, and also as I worked to design Marjorie's house, because I wanted a very specific look to the house that Arthur was going to be going upstairs to. I mean, most of the basement was just really, we just hung plastic, but upstairs I wanted it to look like Marjorie had been living in this house for years. So I went through a ton of old photos because we wanted to have photos of Arthur as a kid. And I found a photo of myself wearing bunny ears and looking miserable. It was like it was Easter at some point. And I think in reality, my brother had just eaten the Easter cake all by himself. And I'm just like, my mom was like, here, stand next to him and get a picture. And I'm like,
Angry.
but I got the bunny ears. So Pat had also sent me a photo of a latex, so sort of, store-bought horror bunny mask. Maybe I think it had been from Amazon.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if he sent the mask and then I started looking through photos and I was like, hey, bunny ears. Or I don't know which, chicken or the egg. Regardless, I didn't like the idea of a mass-produced mask. I
Okay.
thought, you know, I mean, even Michael Myers wore a mass-produced mask, but at least he had the decency to turn it inside out.
Mm-hmm.
So I built one out of plaster and paper mache and red thread. And as I was doing it, you know, I'm trying to memorize my lines and I'm trying to get into who Arthur is. And so I made the mask. It only conforms to my face. So I actually did a full mold of my face so that the mask would fit snugly. And it's very delicate, but it's also quite heavy. And I wanted that experience of like putting my hands on this mask because Arthur wears the mask. Um, in my mind, it's this artifact, this symbol of the trauma of his childhood that he is
Mm-hmm.
then inflicting on Phoebe in maybe to like exorcise that from him. And now it's one of a kind. And I gave the mask to Pat as a gift, so it's somewhere in
Oh,
his house.
that's quite wholesome. So you made it all by yourself. I
All
didn't know
by
that.
myself.
That's very cool.
Yes.
It's terrifying. It's
Thank
like
you.
I was gonna say it's definitely like what you were going for. Yeah, I was really curious about it because I think that's what stood out to me as well. I was being sent a bunch of things on like TikTok and things saying, "Oh, I have these new movies coming out," and then I seen Sugarcane come through, and I was like, "What is that mask?" I was like, "That is scary." Like I was like, even though like you said, it's like a simple concept, but very simple, very effective as well. I really liked it. But you were producing this movie too, so what was it like being a producer and an actor? Was that difficult?
Um, Not well, you know, my production, my producer role really was around location, and you know, some production design, a little bit of casting. I helped cast Marjorie as or Bonnie as Marjorie.
Mm.
I tried to get another actor, but we couldn't afford him. Mau House is a producer of the film. That's my, you know, little indie production company, but
Mhm.
really only in those areas. I've, you know, was lucky enough to be involved in other discussions and I've, you know, been able to help with marketing as much as I could. Created some marketing stuff. Of course, the mask has been a big part of the
Yeah.
marketing. I created some other little artifacts. There's an Arthur bunny mask Pez dispenser. Um, there's masks that will fit your Ken doll and one that'll fit a GI Joe.
Oh my
So,
God. So you're selling these masks as like a
well, I'm not selling them. I
I was
just
gonna say.
created. They only have. There's only one of each, but they
Yeah.
exist.
Okay.
You know, if in the future, and I'm, you know, since Arthur, since I made them all, I hope that they're special to whoever they eventually become.
Yeah.
You know, the property of.
It's a good merch idea.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah. But Mau House, before that, really, I had produced some comedy sketches, and I had a 3 seasons of a fiction podcast that I produced, and so those, you know, this was my definitely my first even, you know, producing role in any kind of feature.
What was your fiction podcast about?
Well, the first 2 seasons are based on my short stories that I publish. Again, like I said, I was a teacher. I was a literature and creative writing teacher, and so I'd been writing instead of acting, and I published a lot of stories in, you know, different journals, magazines. Did them. I've been adapting them into screenplays, but I wanted to test out the screenplays as sort of I don't know, like dynamic table reads. So
Hmm.
they're audio plays. Each one's about a half an hour. And the third season, I collected stories from other writers. So there are 30 episodes that are out. It's called A Blind Play. You can find it, you know, wherever you find podcasts.
Okay,
And it was
cool.
really, it was an experiment. And it taught me a lot about casting. It taught me a lot about what it takes to be a producer, especially of a union project. A blind play is both, you know, a SAG project and also Writers Guild of America. And
Mhm.
I got to hire people from all over the world. I got to learn some minimal sound engineering. It's definitely a DIY kind of a deal, but I think the stories are strong. Obviously, they've been published before, and I love the actors who perform in them. So
I'll check it out. I'll have to have a look at
please
that.
do.
So do you have any future plans that you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, well, I'm co-producing a pilot for a TV show called Marthasville here in
Mhm.
Atlanta, and that has also been I've been doing some location searching, production design. Those have been my main. In an indie film, a producer is a lot more hands-on, I think, than just hiring people to do the jobs. It's like I'm doing those jobs that I should be hiring out. But Marthasville, the head writer and showrunner is going to be heading out to LA this fall with a package. We're editing that right now. I've got a short film that we are going to start. We're in pre-production on called Crab Nebula. It's a comedy
Interesting.
short about women's reproductive rights. Hopefully we'll be shooting that, if not July, then August. I've also producing or helping to produce another horror thriller out in LA called POV, and
Oh,
that's with
cool.
Pinball Productions.
Amazing. Well, yeah, anything that you're doing, especially horror-wise, please send it my way because I'll always watch it.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh,
Oh,
tell
speaking of,
me.
this is not quite horror, but um,
Okay.
this one is I'm very excited about. We shot a film a few months back, also out in Los Angeles, that is a satire of really basically what is happening in the United States right now,
Okay.
and it's called The Enlightenment of Brittany Darlington, and I am very excited for that film to come out. It is like punk rock, and
Hmm.
it's just it's about an influencer and named Brittany Darlington. Obviously, I play a preacher, a TV evangelist, and I
Amazing.
cannot wait for people to see that.
When is that coming out?
I've absolutely no idea.
I will watch it when it comes out.
Yeah,
I would love to know.
I
Well,
think you can follow Pistolero Productions on socials and maybe they'll tell you.
Pistolero Productions.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that one down. Perfect. Can you just please let us know where we can find Sugarcane for anyone that hasn't watched it?
Yeah, you can find it, of course, on Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
Um, if you would prefer to watch it with commercials, you can find it on Tubi. It's also on Fandango at home.
If you go on Letterboxd, it usually has like every single place that you can
That
find it.
is true.
Yeah.
And on Letterboxd, you can read some of the funniest reviews of Sugarcane. This is a divisive film.
Mine was very lovely.
People either love it or they're like, I mean, just the meanest trolls out there. Yeah,
It happens. I think with anything independent as well, even any movie, you're never going to please
sure.
everyone. Can I just finish off with like a fun little game?
Let's
Just a
do it.
couple of fun questions. So I would like to know, do you think that there is a horror movie mask that you think rivals Arthur's bunny mask?
Okay.
Scarier.
Um, I mean, if we're going with homemade masks, you
Hmm.
got to go with Leatherface's skin mask.
Yeah, of course.
Um, I, it's interesting. Hannibal Lecter's mask is very scary, but he only wears it to protect other people, and it's not like he has a choice. And he's only
Hmm.
wearing it for a few minutes in the movie. As for
Mm.
terrifying masks that as a grown man of 50 years old,
Hmm.
I still freak out at, and these are store-bought masks. The masks from the movie The Strangers.
Oh yeah. I thought you were gonna say Ghostface. I was like, I'm sorry. It's
Oh,
just in the
no.
background.
No, they did a great job making Ghostface's that mask
Mm.
just funny enough to really drive home that movie is a satire. So,
Yeah, I think when Scary Movie was made, it just kind of wrecked it because everyone just thought it was funny after
uh-huh.
that. But no, going back to what you said, the Stranger's Mask, the movie. So the first movie, I saw that. Oh my God, I think I was a teenager and I went to see that in cinemas and movie theaters, and I remember it just being genuinely actually quite scary because of those masks. And I think they've made so many since. A couple of them have been good, a couple of them not so much, but the first
Sure.
one, scary.
Yeah, I mean,
Domestic.
the first time you see anything like that, something that is meant to be innocent
Hmm.
that is used to terrify, and then after that, yeah, it's just becomes a trope. Um,
Yeah.
as a kid, the masks that terrified me the most, though, were the masks that they sell in the movie Halloween 3. And you put the masks on and they
Hmm.
sort of rot your face and like worms
Oh,
come
I
out.
see, I see, I see. I was trying to
Yeah.
think when the last time I watched Halloween 3. There's
Oh,
so many.
it's a terrible movie, but
There's
I
so
love
many
it.
of them there. Is there a horror movie that you think is very underrated that people don't talk about enough?
Oh
There's a
boy.
lot.
There there are. Okay. Um I have a friend, I have an acquaintance whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, but he made a movie that you can watch. I don't know, you may be able to stream it. I think it's on Tubi, but it may even be on YouTube. It's called The Head.
The Head.
Brilliant horror movie, shot in Vegas,
Right
and
then.
it is every like schlocky, gross out,
Hmm.
terrible effects movie. I think everyone needs to watch The Head. Um,
Okay, I've not seen it.
yeah, yeah.
I'll
Um,
pop it on the list.
I don't know if it's over. I don't know. I don't know what's underrated.
Mm,
Let's see. There were movies that I love that I didn't know existed until I saw them. There's the Canadian werewolf movie Ginger Snaps,
I love that movie. Oh my
and
God.
it had some really bad sequels, but that first one, that relationship with those sisters, it's just
Mm. That's a great
um
movie. That's such a good choice.
yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but that is a great movie. I actually don't think I've seen the sequels. I feel like I stopped at the first one.
I just couldn't stop because I was like, well, there's more.
You
And
need to know.
my sister recommended them to me, and I
Mm.
was like, oh, I'll check it out. And then, yeah, it's Law of Diminishing Returns. The movie The Brotherhood of the Wolf.
I've never
I
watched
believe
that.
it's a I believe it's a French film.
Okay.
Speaking of French films, the movie Raw.
Still on my list.
Oh
I
my
still have not
gosh.
seen it, but
Oh,
it's literally on my list that I'm going to watch really soon. I've just been told
great,
it's really graphic, but I'm okay with it.
great cannibal movie.
Hmm. In your opinion, who is the best filmmaker of all time? It's
Okay.
hard, right?
It is hard because my answer, just like with best film or whatever, my answer changes on depending on the day. I love a Paul Thomas Anderson film,
It's good.
but I love the Coen brothers
Yeah.
movies. I mean, there's some great ones. Greta Gerwig is an
Oh,
amazing
she's
writer
great.
director.
Oh, what great
Um,
choice.
yeah. As for upcoming filmmakers, people you haven't heard of,
Mhm.
as I mentioned, Grant Lafferty. He has a short that's out now. Called The Healer. That is oh God. I mean, just his movie's just they're gonna blow you away. But I also love the work locally that's coming out of Hoka Studios in Atlanta.
Mhm.
You've got writer producers Tang Ho, Jenna Cannell, who horror fans might know Jenna from The Terrifier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
great movies.
she's a friend here in Atlanta, and Vivesh
Oh,
Bakshi. Those three have started an indie studio, and they're tearing it up. They're gonna
nice.
be a force to be reckoned with.
What is your view on the Terrifier movies? Out of curiosity. They're very Marmite.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't
I
have to like them. It's
the, well, all right.
okay.
So I would say, I mean, the first Terrifier movie it's garbage that you don't want to look away from. I mentioned the movie The Head. It's
Yeah.
like that. It's
Mm.
just, but I will say that in creating a character that sticks with you, Art the Clown is every bit a sort of vaudeville or silent movie um character
Mm.
as he is a horror villain. I mean, just the fun that he has, the movement, the his interaction with his world, it's really fascinating to watch, even in the first film.
Yeah.
And I think that really speaks to what horror can do, even if
Mm.
it is just sort of, bloody kill list or
Splatter gore, basically,
yeah,
that movie.
splatter gore. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
So if you could work with any actor, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh boy. Someone alive,
Mhm.
probably, because yeah, dead actors stink. Paul Giamatti. Wait, no, 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 wait.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a good one,
yes,
huh?
but Jeffrey Wright,
Okay.
Sam Rockwell,
I love Sam Rockwell. Oh my God.
Vera Farmiga, who she
Great
played
one.
Norman Bates's mom in
Hmm.
this in the series. John Hawkes, if he's
Oh my God, I love
just
John, the guy that was in
beautiful.
Marcy May Marlene, that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a great
yeah.
actor. Yeah, that was also a great movie.
Also another guy like him, Michael Shannon. I'd love to work with him. I'd love
Love
to work
Michael
with
Shannon.
Kieran Culkin.
Great
My
taste.
gosh, Stephen Root is another just wonderful
There's a
actor.
lot. So you're the
Yes.
person that's
Oh,
given me the most.
okay. Wait, no. All right. Final answer.
Yeah.
Above all, Olivia Colman.
Oh, she's epic.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
epic.
She
I've
is
loved
epic.
her since Peep Show.
She is the best. She is the best. I think she's so fun as well. And so real. Like I love her. She's great. But that's a great list of people. That's a great list of
Thank you.
people. What's your top four favorite movies?
It's a letterboxed question.
I know. I want to change it. Gonna get copyright strike,
Um,
right?
let's
Five if you
see.
want. Three if it's easy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Uh, let's start with Royal Tenenbaums.
I haven't seen it, I'm
Now,
not gonna lie.
Wes Anderson seems to make this some sort of like the same movie over and over again.
Hmm.
But The Royal Tenenbaums is just a great film about family, and it's just so colorful and beautifully shot. It's got a great soundtrack. It's just the timing. It's immaculate.
Hmm.
Um, I used to say of the Tarantino films that Pulp Fiction won,
Okay.
but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think has beat Pulp Fiction for me.
Okay.
Um, I just I just love what he was able to do with this. That's the story of the Manson family. Again, against this backdrop of this failed actor. And again, another movie I think that I used to. Star Wars was the first movie I ever saw. I saw it when I was 2. I've seen it way too many times. But when I saw Rogue One, the direct prequel to Star Wars: A New Hope, I
Hmm.
was like, this is what Star Wars movies should be. So that one, Parasite, no,
Oh,
Roma,
Parasite.
Roma or Parasite.
You can
Those are
go
gonna,
five. Let's give you
yeah,
five,
okay.
and you
Well,
can say
let's do it
both.
because then I could keep going because
You can keep going if you want.
I in an hour I'll be like, oh man, why didn't you say this?
I know, but this is the thing. I've asked this question before when I've been like top five, then I changed it to four, and then I was like, someone's gonna say to me letterbox, and no one until you has clocked that, and they've been like, oh, letterbox. I'm like, don't do that. So I'm like, now it's gonna be straight. So five, you can go six if you want. What would be your
I
sixth one? Chuck
I
a sixth one
mean,
in there. Why not?
oh boy, I it's another movie from my childhood, Ma Vie en Rose.
Okay.
I don't know if
Uh,
you've seen it.
I
I think
haven't seen it.
that also might be. Oh, it is. It's a French film. And it is about a trans girl, and I
Mhm.
think it's maybe late '80s, early '90s. And it's just such a beautiful film about families accepting their children, and it's about love, and it's about those who don't accept. It's a beautiful movie. I
If
couldn't
it's
tell you the director, but
I'll look that up. I will. Well, Michael, thank you so much. You've been so much nicer than Arthur, so I'm really glad to say that out loud.
huh.
You have been a lot
Well,
nicer.
thank you.
You're welcome. Honestly, thank you for your time today. It's been really nice to talk to you.
It's
Can you
been
just
lovely too.
tell
Thank
you
you.
tell everyone where we can find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at the Michael Mao. You could also find the production company has an Insta as well. It is Mao House Production, and that's Mauhaus Productions. Although I don't post there much, I think everything I've posted on there in the last 2 years has been Sugarcane related. But yeah, but the Michael Mao.
Perfect. You can find me on Ashley B. Red Music Official on Instagram and Ashley B. Red on TikTok. Ashley B. Red pretty much everywhere else. It was honestly so lovely to talk to you.
You
And
are quite welcome.
yeah, I'm looking forward to see what else you can do. Because
Let's make more things.
let's do that. Thank you so much.
Sure thing.
Bye.